9600. The trusted home buyer in Southern California, 800-781-9600, 800-781-9600, WedgewoodHomes.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
California losing jobs. The last two monthly employment reports show the state lost more than 21,000 jobs in January and 7,500 in February. Former Employment Development Director Michael Burnick says the big reason is uncertainty about the economy. Says employers are unsure about what to expect with things like tariffs and are weary of hiring more people.
We're beginning to see, I think, a transition in California employment away from strong job growth in tech, finance, and other white-collar jobs, and greater growth in what might be called the practical economy jobs, building trades jobs, service jobs, the retail and direct retail jobs.
Burnick says there is no indication that federal worker layoffs are impacting the California numbers. The unemployment rate for California, 5.4%, only Nevada is higher. Tax season is a prime time for scams. More now from CBS News correspondent Stephen Kaufman.
There's lots of information and money on the table during tax season, and unfortunately that brings out the scammers, possibly taking advantage of recent workforce cuts at the IRS.
The turmoil is creating chaos. People getting fired. That leaves an opportunity for social engineering, where an attacker can send fake emails or fake texts saying they're from the IRS.
Dave Chronister with the firm Parameter Security says less agency staff creates another issue.
IRS have less people to be able to take down phishing sites. What we may find is an increase of phishing sites that stay up longer, that will allow attackers to file fake taxes as well as being able to scam people out of their money.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
It is 10:25. Traffic every 10 minutes on the 5s. This update brought to you by Pacific Coast Termite. Here's Rick Smith.
Well, now, Euclid off-ramp. We've got a disabled car. They can't seem to get out of the way, so they have closed lanes there to get a tow truck and see if they can get it out of the way. Glendale 134 West connector to the 5 North still have CHP there with a motorcycle, and I'm still seeing a delay that starts at the beginning of that transition. In Fontana, the 10 West before Etiwanda, that's that crash with the overturned car. They've had all lanes blocked for quite a while now. It is slowing down before you get to Citrus, almost back to Sierra. Now you can use Valley or Slover to get around. That Valley starting to fill up, and you can take Slover, which is just south of the freeway, and runs right alongside of it. In Corona 91 West past Green River, that two-car smash-up finally out of the way. You're still sluggish before the 71, and the 71 south is a pretty slow crawl from Butterfield Ranch down to the 91. Don't let termite damage cost you thousands. Call Pacific Coast Termite. No tent, no move out, no poisonous gas with orange oil. Call for a free termite inspection and 10% discount. 800 Pacific. That's 800 Pacific. Some restrictions apply. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Skies will be partly cloudy today with highs relatively comfortable, mid to upper 60s for the beaches and metros, low 70s. Later this afternoon for the San Fernando Valley, we will be mostly cloudy tonight with lows in the 40s and 50s, possible 30s for the high desert communities in the Santa Clarita Valley. For your Sunday tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies again, 20% chance of rain by the afternoon. That will up to about 40% by the time we get to tomorrow night. That chance of rain, that slight chance sticking around into Monday morning and maybe into the afternoon as well. Next chance of rain after that coming on Thursday of next week. Right now, 62 degrees in West Covina, 58 in Santa Clarita, 62 on LA's Miracle Mile.
Do you have a security alarm system? Are you paying too much? I'll bet you are. Switch your current alarm system to the Monitoring Center and start saving today. With rates as low as only $9.99 per month and a 6-month free sign-up bonus. No long-term contract, and switching is easy.
1-866-24-7 or $9.99. 1-866-24-7 or $9.99.
Visit themonitoringcenter.com for details.
Debbie retired from a sales job where she spent years walking in high heels. Debbie started feeling bad ankle pain, so she called her doctor, who prescribed ibuprofen. Maria worked a similar job and had ankle pain, but Maria called me, attorney Robert Osron, and I got Maria a settlement of $75,000, even though the company went out of business years ago. Suffering from job-related injuries? Be like Maria. Call me, attorney Robert Ozeron, at 310-999-9989, the Injured Worker Hotline. 310-999-9989.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse and hitting the road.
I know. Just got the notification.
Great. Smooth sailing so far. I'm almost there.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Made it. Safe and sound.
I know.
Well, did you know I was with USPS the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Keep your business in the know with USPS Ground Advantage Service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Hi, El Rantel here. If you normally buy your suits at a men's store or the malls, chances are you're wearing a suit made by the people who own the Hollywood Suits. The folks that own the Hollywood Suits are one of the largest suits manufacturers in the world. Their suits are sold all over the country, but for 4 or 5 times more than what you're going to pay at Hollywood Suits. You'll get 3 of the finest merino wool suits for $599. That's for all 3 suits. And they even throw in 3 cotton shirts, 3 ties, belts, socks, and handkerchiefs, all at no extra charge. It really is amazing. They have all the big name brands from Armani, Cavalli, Salvatore Laurenti, and more, all at the lowest prices anywhere. They have everything: dinner jackets, tuxedos, casual wear, and footwear. You gotta visit the Hollywood Suits with over 30,000 suits, literally, for you to pick from. And 3 gigantic locations in Hollywood, Torrance, and Westminster. They fit everyone. Call 800-SUITS-99 or HollywoodSuits.com.
Is home title theft real? Yes. Criminals forge documents and steal properties, and monitoring services can't stop them, but Equity Protect can. With our patented smart policy, your home ownership is protected from cyber criminals and fraud. Featured on Forbes, Fox News, MSNBC, and USA Today. Check out their reviews on Google and the BBB. Call 866-485-1834, 866-485-1834. Visit EquityProtect.com and protect your home today. 866-485-1834.
From the Downtown LA Law Group Injury Help Studios.
This is Southern California's news.
KNX News, 97.1 FM.
And a good morning to you. I'm Larry Perrell. It is 10:30. Well, state workplace safety investigators will be looking into a death that happened at an industrial construction site in the city of Commerce. Victim was a man who was crushed by a concrete barrier just after midnight while working on a project at the Strategic Materials Company on Bandini Boulevard near Garfield Avenue. The Sheriff's Department says that at this point it just looks like a tragic accident, but there's no word yet on what job the man was doing at the time or exactly what went wrong. Efforts continue this weekend to move out dozens of homeless squatters who've been living in luxury RVs in a storage lot in the city of Industry, where many of them have been accused of causing lots of damage. They're facing an eviction order filed by the property's owner. It says the RVs were originally moved onto the lot without its permission, but the owner of the RV company says that's been renting the site denies that. He tells KCAL News there were just some disputes over details and says he's upset because of the costly damage caused by the squatters.
We didn't reach agreement on, how to rent this property, how to manage the property, how to secure the property. We feel like, we are the victim because there are $5-6 million worth of RVs damaged.
Some of the RVs have already been removed, and sheriff's deputies and housing services officials have been helping the ousted squatters find other places to stay, some of them being given hotel vouchers for now, but many others still on the site without being sure where they'll end up. Man is found guilty in the shooting death of a 17-year-old girl, but Art Sanders says even a year after the murder, it's not known why he did it.
It happened as the girl was walking on a Long Beach street near her house. Jurors spent 1.5 days behind closed doors before finding Troy Lamar Fox guilty of first-degree murder for the March 2024 shooting of Brianna Soto, along with 4 counts of attempted murder and another incident involving shots he fired at a car a couple of weeks later. DNA, video, and cell phone evidence pointed to Fox through the trial, but no motive for the murder was ever explained. Fox is facing life in prison with sentencing set for June 9th. The DA said a Long Beach resident has a history of criminal activity, having previously been convicted of attempted robbery and criminal threats. I'm Art Sanders, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
The deadline for fire victims to submit a right of entry has been extended to April 15th. Owners of condos and multifamily units can also now opt in for federal debris removal, but those choosing to opt out are having a tough time getting a permit from LA County. Karen Adams with more.
Several homeowners here in Altadena have chosen to opt out and get their own contractors to clear their lots. But as Supervisor Catherine Barker says, they're being hampered by government bureaucracy.
For the Eaton Fire rebuild, the Los Angeles County Department of Regional Planning has noted that they've received 132 applications and have approved 23. Of those 23 applications approved by Regional Planning and submitted to Public Works for building permits, only 2 have been approved. Of the 2 permits approved, they are both still pending clearance, one for debris removal and the other for clearances from other departments such as fire. These numbers are simply not acceptable.
She added,
I am zero tolerant for anyone that's going to get in the way and become bureaucratic, because I will guarantee you they have a home to go home to each and every night.
Barker says all of the lots are going to be required to be cleared and urges people, even if they're undecided, they should opt in by the deadline of April 15th, because you can always change your mind. So far, 6,000 have opted in from both fires. A little more than 1,000 are here in Altadena. I'm Karen Adams, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
And many of those Altadena residents who lost homes in that fire still trying to decide whether to rebuild, and it's an especially hard decision for people who did not have enough insurance to cover most of the costs, but they'll soon have a new option that might make it a bit easier. Local pair of architects, Cynthia Sigler and her husband Alex Athenson, are creating a catalog of pre-approved designs for homes that can be built faster and cheaper than ones that have been started from scratch. Cynthia says they're motivated by a deep love for Altadena and sympathy for people whose homes were destroyed by the fire.
We kind of came back to a devastated community, and so we were really kind of feeling like, what can we do to help?
The couple tells KCAL News about their hopes for their planned catalog.
Making sure that there's options for well-designed homes that are still modest and affordable.
There's going to be a cost savings and scale.
The designs are being done by a number of local architects, including Cynthia and Alex themselves, and early samples got an enthusiastic reception when they were unveiled at a public meeting that was held in Altadena last night. It is 10:35, time for a look at your drive. Here's Rick Smith.
Well, you got trouble in Montebello on 60 West past Paramount. 4 cars piled up here. They're in the center divider area. See if you're still on the way over to this one. There's maybe a lane or 2 blocked. It's slowing down before you get to Rosemead Boulevard. The eastbound side, I'm seeing delays there that start back at about Atlantic. Sigler going on in Garden Grove, 22 East Euclid off-ramp is shut down. We've got a disabled car they're trying to load up and take off of the freeway there in Fontana. The 10 West before Etowanda, that's where you have that wreck with the overturned car. We did have all lanes blocked. It looks like they may have started letting some traffic through. Traffic is starting to get a little bit lighter through there, although you are still pretty slow from about Citrus up to that point. If you're headed through Montclair, the 10 West at Monte Vista, that's where Caltrans has the right lane shut down for a long-term project, and it is slowing down at about Mountain Avenue. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Partly cloudy skies today, highs in the mid to upper 60s for the beaches, metros, and Santa Clarita Valley, low 70s for the San Fernando Valley. Will be mostly cloudy later tonight, lows in the 40s and 50s, but if you're in the high desert, you could see temperatures in Santa Clarita Valley as well, dipping into the 30s, so if you're going to go out, you're going to need that jacket for sure. For your Sunday, mostly cloudy, we've got a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon, 40% chance by tomorrow night with highs tomorrow in the low to mid 60s. It's 10:37.
Jan from Toyota here. Have you felt cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Tundra, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like strapping your bikes into the bed of a Tundra to find some new trails. Too steep! Too steep! Off-roading with your best buds in a 4Runner. Woohoo! I feel alive again! Packing a Camry full of plants to redo your garden. Whew, my green thumb is back. Loading up rods and reels into a Corolla Cross for a fly fishing trip. I got one! Hey. Sorry. And hitching up the boat to a Grand Highlander for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Myanmar's military government asking for international aid, and some has already arrived from China and Russia. That's according to reports because of the devastation caused from yesterday's 7.7 magnitude earthquake near the city of Mandalay. Death toll surging now past 1,600. In Bangkok, there is a desperate search now for workers in debris after a high-rise building collapsed because of the quake. CBS News' Anna Corin with more from that area.
Panic and confusion on the streets of Mandalay, where a group of Buddhist monks watched in horror as an apartment building teetered and then collapsed. This was a scene continuously repeated at the epicenter of Friday's 7.7 magnitude quake.
Officials say the death toll could still rise as news comes in from more isolated areas. President Trump says he had a good call discussing tariffs with Canada's new Prime Minister. President speaking in the Oval Office and said the U.S. will end up with a very good relationship with Canada and other countries once deals get hashed out and connected to the tariffs.
Many of them have actually apologized. They said, look, we have taken advantage. And I don't blame them as much as I blame the people that stood. In this case, I can say the men, because so far they've been all men, haven't they? But the men that sat right there and behind the Resolute desk, mostly the Resolute desk, you know. I don't know if you know, you have a choice of 7 desks. The Resolute is the one I like, but some chose other ones, but they sat right behind a desk right in this location, and they let our country be hurt very badly.
April 2nd is when the Trump administration says it plans to impose a fresh and big new round of tariffs, Trump calling it Liberation Day. Goal of the tariffs is to try to improve U.S. manufacturing. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says healthy Americans were not dying of COVID-19 and that it only affected sick people. Made those comments at an event alongside West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey. Dr. Celine Gounder reacted to the statements.
Somewhere between 50 and 70% of Americans, depending on how you define chronic disease, have chronic diseases. And so a significant proportion of the population is at increased risk for complications from COVID. It's not helpful to go around blaming people. What you really need to do is how do you mitigate risk? How do you reduce risk? How do you help people through a pandemic?
Kennedy has made similar claims in the past about other illnesses like the measles. Utah has become the first state to ban fluoride in public drinking water despite widespread opposition from dentists and national health organizations. Republican Governor Spencer Cox signed legislation this week that bars cities and communities from deciding whether to add the mineral to their water systems. The CDC notes fluoride strengthens teeth and reduces cavities by replacing minerals lost during normal wear and tear. Utah lawmakers who pushed for a ban said putting fluoride in water too expensive. Lawmakers in other states, including Florida, Ohio, and South Carolina, also have proposed restricting fluoride in public water. Coming up on KNX News, we got some problems in Montebello on the westbound 60. Rick Smith is up next.
House paint. It's a big bucket of denial. Painting over your home's exterior problems only makes things worse because beneath the new paint, your cracks are expanding, water damage is creeping up the sides of the house, and wood is rotting like bad fruit. Hi, I'm Steve, creator of Deluxe Life Coat. Unlike painters, we restore your home's exterior using our exclusive 12-step process. We water blast, repair every single crack and chip, and fix any wood rot till your house looks brand new. After we're done, you'll never have to paint your home again. That's why Deluxe Life Coat has the best lifetime warranty in the industry. It covers flaking, peeling, and yes, even cracking. What paint can say that? If paint has you in denial, you don't need a therapist. Just call Deluxe Life Coat.
Call now to get 20% off your order, plus no interest for 2 years. Call 800-978-2500. 800-978-2500. That's 800-978-2500. Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 1052855.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G-Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers.
Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line Gold Unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Taxes was taxing. Now taxes is relaxing when you file for free.
I can file for free. TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. I can file for free.
Now this is taxes. File for free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your maximum refund. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and student loan interest. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And if you love animals, you're part of our world. Humane World for Animals. The end of animal cruelty.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number and store it in your cell phone, but call Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Good morning, I'm Larry Perrell. It's 10:45 coming up on KNX News, 97.1 FM. Gas prices, brace yourself. Price shock, they're going up, man. And if you have to get gas today, well, we warned you. Also, we'll see how California's crucial snowpack is holding up on this second weekend of spring. Those stories all on the way in the next 15 minutes. First, a traffic update now brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Here's Rick Spin.
Well, CHP's on the way to a crash in Cerritos, the westbound side of the 91 at Pioneer. It looks like the middle lane is blocked. I'm already seeing a backup that starts back at Artesia. Montebello 60 west past Paramount. That's where you had that 4-car wreck in the center divider area. It looks like this may have made it over to the right shoulder. Traffic starting to ease up through there, but it did back you up all the way to Peck Road and caught the attention of the eastbound side. That's pretty sluggish from about Atlantic. If you're headed on the 110 north in downtown LA, this is going to be right at the 101 freeway. We've got a stalled car that's going to be in the slow lane there. Overall, that 110 north crawling out of South LA from about Florence. In Corona, you're still seeing some effects from an earlier crash on the westbound 91. You're going to be slow almost back at the I'm going to call it Lincoln over to Green River, and then the 71 south is slow from Butterfield Ranch down to the 91. Spring into action at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Stay in your car while friendly technicians check oil, batteries, lights, tires, and more. Locations and coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. All vehicle types welcome. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Temperatures remain below average this weekend. We will see a mix of sun and cloud. Otherwise, afternoon temperatures will rise into the 60s and low 70s in the valley, with 50s up in the mountains. We do have a chance for light rain to develop as we head later Sunday and into Monday. Otherwise, looking at cooler and below average temperatures for the week ahead. That's your next for the forecast. I'm KCAL News meteorologist Alex Bistin for KNX News 97.1 FM.
Well, industry experts say expect gas prices to continue their recent rise because of more expensive fuel blends and changes in demand at this time of year. And, well, it's even true this weekend, with the cost of filling your tank making their biggest daily jumps in a very long time. In LA County, the average price of regular gas spiking by more than 5 cents since yesterday, now sitting at about $4.76 a gallon. That is the biggest one-day increase in almost a year. And over in Orange County, today's average of more than $4.73 a gallon, more than 6 cents higher than yesterday. That also marks the biggest one-day jump there in a year and a half. Prices also way up across the rest of Southern California. Malibu is aggressively pushing to get people, especially tourists, to come back to the city. And here from our Pete Demetrio, locals point out while the PCH, well, PCH is a problem, the trick to an economic revival is advertising alternate routes.
Patrick Reynolds manages the Marmalade restaurant in Malibu. He notes that business everywhere is definitely off because people don't want to use northbound PCH because of the construction and the heavy trucks moving debris out of the Palisades burn zone. It turns it into a 45-minute trip from Santa Monica, a real turnoff. His advice? Take the 101 north and you'll find canyon routes to the beach city.
Go through Las Virgenes. That's the way to come now. 101 to Las Virgenes and come on down through Pepperdine. And
you can also use Canaan Road to southbound PCH. City officials are also planning to ask Caltrans to change the messages on freeway signs that have mentioned the PCH closure to include info on the detour routes to get into the city. A little knowledge that could be a key to an economic revival in Malibu, a town that is still very much open for business. I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Despite lots of questions about how the money is being spent, most LA City Council members approved new money for a program to deal with homelessness. Here's Craig Figner.
$46 million. That's the latest request from Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass for additional new funding for Inside Safe. That's her flagship program to house people living on the streets of the city of Los Angeles. The money, at least several $1 million of it, is for ongoing costs at the Mayfair Hotel, which the city purchased. It has 294 rooms and is being used for housing, interim housing. That's where people stay for as long as 2 years as they transition to permanent supportive housing. Los Angeles Councilmember Monica Rodriguez was a no vote.
Nearly a year ago, at the Mayor's State of the City in 2024, she herself indicated that Inside Safe was unsustainable in its current format and needed to be changed to have a more financially effective way of rolling out this work. We are over 340 days later and nothing has changed. It's already a day late and millions of dollars short.
Despite her opposition, the funding request was approved. Also approved by council was a request by staff to create a chart. That's what they're calling it. A chart that will show how many motel rooms are being leased by the city under booking agreements versus occupancy. Essentially, they want to know how many hotel rooms for housing the homeless are going empty each night, despite the fact they're being paid for. I'm Craig Figner, KNX News 97.1 FM.
And at 10:50, a check of your money. Here's Bloomberg's Tracy Jockey.
The Boston Tea Party was more than a few protesters dumping English tea into the sea. It was a boycott of goods made overseas, which means the Buy American movement existed before anyone was American. More recent Buy American efforts have been less revolutionary and more about preserving or creating U.S. manufacturing jobs. But there's little evidence they change consumer buying habits.
Because they do not meaningfully change the number of American-made products available.
Bloomberg's Amanda Lowell reports.